Hello YouTube chess lovers and my friends, this is Gunjan here. Welcome to my 18th episode of Dirty Chess Tricks against Sicilian. Today I'm going to show you a game of GM Nepomniachtchi where he crushed a 2700 rated GM as well as Sicilian Dragon in just a mere 23 moves. The good point I like about this tricky line is, when you check in database, there are very few games available in this line. That means you can literally use it as a complete surprise weapon in the tournament practice. The opening arises after the following order: e4, c5, knight to f3, d6, d4, and here black can take on d4 or play knight to f6, attacking on e4, and after knight to c3 defending, we transpose back to the main line with c captures d4. Okay, knight captures d4, and now the trademark dragon move g6, planning to play bishop to g7 and castle on the king side. Well, for the few moves both players follow the main line. White continue with bishop to e3, bishop to g7, now f3, stop knight to g4 idea, and after knight to c6, the obvious move queen to d2, planning to long castle. Okay, black castles, and now rather than playing the move bishop to c4 with stop d5 by black, white decided to play the second alternative, namely castle on the queen side. Since white hasn't committed bishop to c4 and allowing black to play the move d5, none of the good Sicilian player will miss out, and accordingly, as per the theory, d5 has been highestly played move in this position. Well, we have reached one of the critical junction of this line. As I have highlighted over here, white has tried various responses such as king to b1, queen to e1 and taking on d5. However, Nepomniachtchi come up with this very strange idea. He started with knight captures c6, which at first sight looks very strange, as after b captures c6, you are not only allowing black to strengthen his center, but the open b file can provide a good counterattack for the black side. However, Nepomniachtchi's big idea is he wants to play bishop to h6 and getting rid of the powerful dark square bishop. So you can already see the position is a bit tricky, as if white managed to get rid of this dark square bishop, then g4, h4, h5 are definitely on the card. And not only that, meanwhile there is an ongoing pressure on the d5 square, which altogether create some great headache for the black camp. For example, if black tried to support here with either the move bishop to e6 or e6, then he faced this huge problem: bishop captures g7, king captures g7. As soon as that bishop disappears from the board, black attack on the b file has been completely neutralized. And not only that, white has this great fast follow-up starting with g4, and you can see the g and h file pawns are storming in to the king side, and I think it is only black who will find himself at the trouble zone. So nope, that's not the right approach, and that's why highestly played move in this position is bishop captures h6, and after queen captures h6, as the d5 pawn is still pinned down, queen to b6 is the choice when most of the black players reach to this position. So idea is very obvious. Not only black is unpinning this d pawn, but he wants to create this counterattack immediately with rook to b8 and then pressurize the b2 pawn. Okay, that's fine, but white has cooked up something very fascinating. And here Nepo springs this big surprise, e5, attacking the knight. If knight to h5, then g4 is a very strong reply. So more or less, black is obliged to play the only move, knight to d7, pressurizing the e5 pawn, and in some lines, knight can reroute for the attack on the queen side. So you can see up till this point, the play is pretty much forced, and there is no surprise that white will churn out this obvious move, h4, continue the merry journey with h5, and then mate on the h-file. Well, believe it or not, but here black has the only move, knight captures e5, but after that, I think it's only engine who can defend this position. The more an obvious human approach is rook to b8, creating a counter immediately, but unfortunately for black, he straight away fallen into white's tricky territory. From now onwards, every single move is pretty much forced and gives white a completely winning edge. First, he defended the b2 pawn with knight to e4, which accidentally also hitting the queen, and black's obvious response, queen to b4, completely fails due to the following move. Yup, you guessed it, h5, and black even can't touch this knight. If a careless black opponent take this knight, then this is the last time he is going to play the dragon, as after h captures g6, the mate is unavoidable on the h-file. Here, to be honest, this position is almost undefendable. Let's see how a 2700 tried to defend and still cannot save his king. Black played g5, the obvious move, which cuts the communication between rook and a queen. But now white initiative run like a bullet train. Bishop to d3, another mating threat, and black has to play another pawn move, namely f5. So you can see already black has weakened his king severely by playing those pawn moves. And it is wonderful to watch Nepomniachtchi's preparation over here as he continues with queen captures g5 check, and after king to h8. Now comes the important point of playing the h5 move. White deliver this dazzling attacking move, rook to h4. So not only defending the knight, but in some instances, this rook can swing to the g-file, and then black king is a complete goner. The another big point about this rook lift is, black can't even move the queen, as for example, let's say he continue with queen to b7, then white has this very nice reply, h6, threatening a checkmate, and after the only move, rook to g8, queen captures e7, and the idea is very simple, bishop captures f5, and then deliver a mate on h7. Well, even after the base defense such as knight to c5, which try to dislodge the queen by giving a knight, still doesn't work because of the following sequence, queen to f6 check, rook to g7, h captures g7 check, and after queen captures g7, well, you can take the queen and then take the knight with a clear piece advantage. However, white has this dazzling sacrifice here. Yup, it starts with following variation, queen to d8 check, queen to g8, and now rook captures h7, deliver a complete mop-up job. After king takes and rook h1 check, black king has to come on the g-file, so that after queen to f6, it's a lovely deciding checkmate. So you can see white has some fascinating lines if black moves the queen away. And rightly so, in the game, black played the move d4, which shut down the door for the rook, and now tried to grab the knight. But unfortunately, white didn't give any time to the black camp. The second dazzling blow occurs over here with bishop captures f5. So not only removing the dangerous f5 pawn, but there is an attack unleashed on the d4 pawn. And no matter however black wriggles, his game cannot survive much longer. I want to stress that if black continue with rook captures f5, then again that will not stop white to finish the game, as after queen captures f5, queen captures a4, white has this nice move, queen to f7, with the obvious threat, h6, and then two mates exist on the board, which can't be even defendable. Finally, in the game, black probably fed up with this position and made the ultimate blunder, queen captures a4, which at first sight looks so cool. In fact, after this move, there is mate in 3, guys. Let's see, can you spot it? Are you ready? Let's get started. Now in the game, Nepomniachtchi played the move h6, which is inaccurate. However, if you find the move rook to g4, congratulations, as this move confirms that black king is going to be murdered at the corner of the board. Altogether, the 21st move rook to g4, and black can simply pack his bag and go home. That's it, guys. I hope you enjoy and learn this wonderful attacking and tricky line against the Sicilian dragon. Remember, at this point, continue with e5, and when the knight move, immediately commence your onslaught with h4. And as we see in the game, if your opponent continue with the obvious move rook to b8, then after knight to a4 and the move h5, you can get some great attacking victories in just within the opening stage. Thank you for watching this video. Feel free to like, subscribe and comment, and I will meet you in my next episode very soon. Bye and take care.